So anyway, let's read some poetry, huh?
Sure, why not? I think I'm ready.
Okay.
I think Bobby's ready for anything, man.
Of course, of course.
You're always laid back, but you are way laid back today, Bobby.
I am laid back.
That's a compliment now.
I'm tired. It's I quit acting 10 days ago, and I've been busier in the last 10 days than I've ever been, and I've got stuff in front of me I just can't handle.
I'm so happy to hear you say that. I said something to a friend. Actually, she does work for me, and I said, I don't understand it. I said, I just got through doing a play, and I'm busier than I was when I was doing the play. And she said, that play was over 2 weeks ago. I said, oh, it was? So, I have zero excuse. I'm just a lazy guy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
but,
that's me these days.
I got plenty of room for, I got plenty of time for poetry, so that's my only claim to fame.
Yeah, I did write a couple, so I got time for it too, I guess, because I
good. That's good. That's one more than I wrote.
That's that may be one or two more than I wrote too. Okay, but my excuse these days is, but I'm writing a book, you know.
Oh, well, I'm writing 4 books.
Ask me anything about it.
I'm writing 4 books, Gary, so
I should
get your ass in gear.
I gave up trying to stay ahead of you a long time ago, Bobby. I learned fast. I learned fast, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I do feel like I have to say this just because, and nobody asked me to do this, but I've always tried to keep a balance in terms of poems that I read on our podcast, you know, and short, long, positive, negative, you know, that sort of thing. But I went to see Oppenheimer about 3 weeks ago, and I grew up in an age where we had bomb shelters, and we were serious about them. And we all thought we were going to get blown to freaking smithereens. And that was our mindset. And because I went to see Oppenheimer, and I didn't really change any of my views, they're still pretty negative, but it was a good piece of history. And I decided, well, I've got some, these aren't snarky, these are like fatalistic type stuff. And I'm just warning you that no grins and giggles today for me.
All right.
I'm gonna be
We're all leaving there in a blast.
Now, the only question is, who's gonna go first?
Well, I can go first, but I also need to Teresa wrote me and said she loves us. She thoroughly enjoyed her time, but she will never be able to make time on Tuesday afternoons to be here because that's her busiest day. And I think if you changed it to another day, she'd stay the same thing. So she's just so passionate about, and who doesn't want to be costumed by Teresa?
Are you kidding?
She was last year's zoning winner. She's just very passionate about it. And so she's wrote to tell me to tell you she loves you, but bye-bye. So, and then as far as Dean goes, he's had a rough weekend and was in the emergency room, and he wasn't even up. The pain was so great yesterday. He couldn't even have coffee with me. So I'm assuming that that's why he's not here today. So,
yeah.
So anyway, did you want me to go first?
Yes, I do.
I woke up, you know how when you wake up and you look at your iPhone, there's this little header at the top that gives you the time and the temperature and where you're at, and then has a picture of you in some way, shape, or form that's taken out of the photo gallery. So I saw that. I thought, oh,
man.
that's cool. So I took a screenshot of it, and wrote a poem to fit inside and underneath it. And the poem is called Yay. As I wake this day, I'm counting all of my blessings. A space I love to wake up in, a world I love to exist in, a family that loves me as I am, and friends always standing by. Plus a deity made father by my own faith. He wakes with me, he walks with me, he talks to me, and he listens carefully, even though I am insignificant and have nothing really to say. How can I not grin from ear to ear? Because he is near, because you are here, because my space brings me cheer. All my blessings from year to year, they are here. From day to day, they never go away. Yay.
Well, that's pretty uplifting.
What a way to start the day. If I were you, Bobby, I'd get up every morning and I'd read that poem. I'd hang on to those feelings, man. That's a great, and you did a great job. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. I liked that one too.
Well, you guys are going to need all the good cheer you can get.
All right.
My turn yet.
Yes, go for it. Go for it now, because I have a happy poem.
Oh,
So
you
we'll
do?
put
Okay,
we'll
good,
put yours
good.
in the middle.
I got 3 of them, and I don't know which one is worse. I'll go with the shortest one though, and not that anybody I don't think is going to leave. This is called Infamy. There were many days of infamy, but here's the one that sticks with me. It was on that clear and fateful morn, the nuclear age got itself born. When Enola Gay and the Fat Boy came to play in a town called Hiroshima or Hiroshima on a bright sunny day, 60,000 ordinary people in ordinary clothes were reduced to shadows for their God to dispose. Some decisions are hard, some are insane. The blemish of the Fat Boy will forever remain. We sacrificed the innocent, protected the able, and everybody thinks we ran the table. But I guess that's just the way it goes when you murder ordinary people in ordinary clothes. There were many days of infamy, but that's the one that sticks with me.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it's a good poem.
I'm not depressed. That was.
Yeah.
I didn't think you would be depressed, but it's like, sometimes you can only stand so many downers, you know what I mean? It's like
No, it's a good picture of a particular time in our history. So
well, and I was there, so that's
yeah.
the thing, not in Japan, but of course. Anyway, you said you had a cheerful one.
Yeah, I do. Well, which is my answer to a lot of things that are going on right now. Not only is my roof a problem, but my niece sent me a copy of the suicide note that my nephew wrote. And boy, that's that's all I needed. Anyway, so this poem, because even when things are falling apart, you need to find joy in your life. So this is called Deliciously Happy. To be deliciously happy. What is that exactly? What does that mean? Is it a glow, a warmth, a comforting inner knowledge that all is well? Even better than well. Shall I say perfect? No, it does not have to be perfect. Maybe unexpectedly good, surprisingly yummy. It is an inside feeling. Yes, a warmth, a glow, but not a raging, roaring fire, yearning to explode, bursting out to gobble up everything within its reach. No. Deliciously happy is a small campfire, a private fireplace, a snuggled comfort glow inside that has no desire to burn out.
Hmm. Very good. Very, very good.
You know, I think this is a decent observation, but I've noticed, Dale, that you're really good at setting your poems up and giving them a sense of direction in the first few lines. I don't know what you're going to say or anything like that, but I kind of know. Well, that's as good as I can get it. You're good at setting up what's coming up. Okay.
Thank
And
you.
I would have to probably actually spend some time and look at a poem and say, okay, here's when it started, here's when it moved, and here's when it, but I don't think all that's a lot of fun. I was never I was never one for, I was a language and literature major, and to this day, I have yet to forgive myself. I could have been anything,
Yeah.
We all
But
could have been somebody, huh?
I could have been somebody, yeah. Yeah,
Well, we are somebody.
well, I are somebody, but it's just the things you got, the mistakes you got to go through, it's like
Yeah.
I'm still basically pretty much what I look like, whatever that is.
All right. So it's back to me.
Uh-huh.
Well, I wrote one this morning, actually, that fit right into a picture I had of myself. So here it is. It's called You're a VIP. I am good, not the very best. I am happy, not the infinitely blessed. I am able, not strong, way beyond. I have done magic, but I have no magic wand. I am free, but obstacles still exist. So, in short, I am good, I am happy, I am able, I've done magic, and I am free. Others might look at me and say, You're a VIP.
That's great.
I could use some of that. Some of that. You should send
Yeah.
it to me. I just read it. It's like, well, it ain't me, but I can kind of imagine that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I was just sitting there thinking poorly of myself this morning, and then I just thought, well, wait a minute, what are you doing that for? You're a good person. And so
Mhm.
that's, I am good, not the
Mhm.
very best, but
Yeah, and there were a
and so
couple.
that's how that came
Yes.
about, because I am happy, but I'm not infinitely blessed either. But if you just read the short version, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm able, I've done that, then I sound pretty good, don't I?
You sound pretty good. And not only that, there's a couple of lines that I don't know if it's the rhyme or just the setup. But there are a couple of lines that just like really work. And they work in that they surprise me. Like I think I know where you're going. And you just take a little turn there. And if my memory were a little bit tighter, I'd tell you what lines they were. It was towards the end. You got on a roll there, and then it was just ba-da, and
Yeah.
it's like, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, I think it was probably when I got through with all of that deep thinking and just went, so in short, I'm good, I'm able, I'm strong. So if you look at just the short version, I look pretty good to other people.
I think you can get by with the whole poem. Right? It's a good feel. It's a feel good, no doubt about it. I mean, so that makes me even happier that I can just come in and squash your joy and just
That's
bring
right.
Oh,
everybody
well, good
down.
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have at it.
Run for the bomb shelters.
All right, and they're getting longer too, so you
Okay.
might as well. Okay, so that one was short. Okay, this is a 2-pager. 1/2. I'm going by size. This one's a bit shorter. I call this one Independence Day Suite. It has a prelude. I love a prelude. Here's another ditty I'd like to put in play. I call this one Independence Day. If casting blame is your favorite game, and you float your boats with nasty quotes, and COVID-19 is too hard to rhyme, here's another Chinese curse to add to your verse. May you forever live in such interesting times. Thinkers are stinkers when liars rule the roost. Confusion is illusion when the rich get a boost. All you gotta do in the land of milk and honey is get off your ass and print some more money. Got no trouble, got no strife. Getting old is just a day in the life. How many times must we see we already are who we need to be? We already have what we need, you see. Get busy living or get busy dying. Whatever else you're selling, I ain't buying. Got no trouble, got no strife. Getting old is just a day in the life. Thinkers are stinkers when the liars rule the roost. Confusion is illusion when the rich get a boost. All you gotta do in the land of milk and honey is get off your ass and print some more money. Got no trouble, got no strife. Getting old is just a day in the life. How many times must we see we already are who we need to be? We already have what we need, you see.
Nice.
I'm sparing you the tag because it's,
Yeah, I'm depressed now.
It's good rhyme. It's good rhyming.
It was a good flow, good rhyming.
Yeah.
that's funny because I remember having, Bobby, this discussion with you about, well, do you want to rhyme? Is a lot of rhyme good or what? We were just discussing the value of rhyme and whether you had to have it or didn't have to have it. And since then, and my take was, you definitely do not have to have it. I mean, there's all kinds of poetry that doesn't particularly try to rhyme, and yet when it does work, it really does work, and it's a lot of fun. So as nasty as that poem was, I kind of enjoyed writing it, I just,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
You enjoyed it, huh? Wow.
Okay.
Heaven forbid.
Yeah, that's a
All
part of you.
right, wait a minute. That's two different dicks, from two different directions. That's not fair. That's not.
It's only because we love you.
Yeah, I've heard that before too. All right. Gotta be Dale.
It's Dale.
Well, I don't have any new ones, but I have some old ones I could resurrect here. And I think maybe I read this on the podcast where maybe there was only the two of us.
Oh, really?
So maybe Bobby hasn't heard this one.
Well, if Bobby hasn't heard it, he needs to hear it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But this is one that that I used to do a lot at the libraries. We used to go around and once a month do at the different libraries. And this is the one where they say, "Oh, she's the one that wrote the." Okay, so this one is more well known than most of my other ones. 30 years too late for the party. Foot on log, hand on knee, old photograph of me. Crater Lake and my jeans, same blue hue. Denim tight, fit so fine, my hair glows like thick honey. What a gorgeous girl I was. Sad shame, I never knew. Shyness kept me from the crowds. Round shoulders hid my bust. A desk corralled my hips and thighs. A chair caressed my butt. I should have been out dancing, luring masculine lust. Why did I choose to study when I could have been a slut?
Mm-hmm. Good.
That's my slut poem.
Well, considering how little I studied, you know, if the sex thing was different, I could have been your slut buddy, you know. Because
Well, I
you
did make up
studied
for
and
this
I
time.
didn't, you know. Well, that was,
Okay, back to Bobby, right?
All right. Well, I don't know that I would call this poetry, but I'm going to read this first story. I am writing a little book, or I wouldn't call it a pamphlet, a little short thing that I'm working in cahoots with my son, who's doing a music project now that is about a little girl who grew up in a very legalistic Christian home. And so him and I have always talked about doing something together with this, and me exposing the hypocrisy in the church through my writings and him through his music. But anyway, I'm writing this little book called Bad Blobby, Bad Blobby. And I'm just trying to identify some of the hypocrisies in the church and the misconceptions of God in the world. And so they're all going to be very short, but this is one that I just came up with the other day. Oftentimes I hear others ask, if there is a God, why do bad things happen to good people? There is an answer to that inquiry, and it's, well, sorry, it's me. I brought pain on good, innocent people. I chose to divorce a worthy woman who I had vowed to stay with through hell or high waters. My kids had not counted on that. They were innocent bystanders, but they suffered greatly because I decided to take care of myself. God couldn't stop it, nor could he stop me. I was resolved. I was atop that missile aimed at the perceived enemy, and it didn't matter at the time what civilians might be injured or even killed because of my determination. Good, innocent people got hurt real bad because of me, not because of God. Bad Blobby. Bad Blobby.
Well,
you know,
I had no idea.
I was as you were reading that, I'm thinking of and you get to the part about the kids, and well, first of all, it was very powerful, but I've often wondered. I mean, in many different cases, and then even with my own kids. I mean, I'm divorced twice, so it's like it's painful to think about their side of it and how they felt, you know.
Well, I stayed in I have a very close relationship with my daughters, especially, and was monitoring their pain because I was worried about that, and it was very painful. Two of them told me, Dad, I just spent 3 hours with her. I know why you divorced her. I wouldn't be able to live with her, but it still hurts. And so I know that I hurt him. And I read this to somebody the other day, and they said, does that mean you wouldn't have done it if you had to go? And I said, no, I would do it all over again because I was taking care of myself and I needed to do that. So it's not that I wouldn't do it again, but it's when we ask questions like, if there is a God, why does he let bad things happen to good people? We're pointing. My dad used to say, when you point a finger at somebody, you have three others pointing back at you. And I think that's the point of this whole thing, is that when we ask questions like that, we think we're patting ourselves on the back, like, well, if we were God, we wouldn't do bad things. But in fact, we have done bad things that have hurt innocent people. And I did. I hurt my daughters. Didn't mean to, but I did. They're still hurt. They still suffer pain from time to time from that divorce years ago. So, I'm to blame. So that's the intent of the whole story. I guess it's a story, but it does have a flow to it as well. So
Well,
anyway,
and the other thing too is it's difficult hearing a poem like that without thinking, well, free will. You know, that's the
yeah,
that's the crux of it. We have
yeah,
free will.
yeah,
So
Well,
yeah,
it's impossible to be human and not screw up a lot of things in your life.
right.
That just happens. That's how
And
you
that
learn
would be
not to do stuff.
that would be a good thing for me to think about. It's impossible to be human and not screw up a lot of things in my life. And then would it be impossible to be God and not hurt people too? I mean, I just,
see, that's where I would say
if he
no.
fixes
That's not
something
the
for
point.
me, is he hurting you? And
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is that, we're all connected and we all interface with each other and we have different
well,
agendas and needs,
I've
so.
often thought of, when I left pipe fitting and went into the ministry and finished my education for it and got my ordination. I don't think my daughters suffered for that at all. My sons did. They never did. They never did really enjoy the parsonage life, the pastor's kid. It was really difficult for them. And so I've often wondered, if I could, would I go back and change it and not do it to save that pain in my sons' lives? But if I changed that for my sons, it would affect my daughters and they're happy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know that I would, even if I could have a do-over. I don't think I would do it. So there's a lot of questions like that I just think there's if I'm open and vulnerable and can talk about what I've done and my part in this, then I think I can write some stories that will get people to think about some of the hypocrisies that they preach in the church and some of the misconceptions of God that I find in the world. So anyway, that's the intent of the book. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it'll be a good exercise for you.
Yeah, it will be.
I imagine you're going to learn a lot. But that's not a bad thing.
No, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Self-discovery, it makes you a happier person.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my 3 for today.
You know what's funny is, like, I was going to get smart this time. I said, you're always fussing over the end of the show, And I said, well, you got a phone. Why don't you just put your timer on there and have, and then it'll go ding, 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 and it's over, Of course, I didn't factor in the fact that the text tone might go off, the phone might ring, any sort of disruption could happen. And it still hasn't gone off, and I still don't know what time it is. So I'm gonna just look at the time and then
It's only 2:30.
oh, we're only 2:35. Yeah, that's not bad. Anyway, I think it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, I did that one. Oh, I don't know if I did that one or not. How many days? Okay. Yeah, all right. This one is called Coronavirus Blues.
Ooh.
Is it a history lesson or a sign of the times? A morality play or just the same old shit on a different day? Fear seems rooted in our DNA, and tragedy never seems far away. So let me share with you this sad little ditty that has bothered me since I was a kiddie. I call it Fallout Shelter. You can be brave. Oh, by the way, this has been made into a song. And if I should break off and try to sing a verse, all you gotta do is just throw your hands up, stop, stop, and I'll get the message and I'll go back to reading, okay?
Okay.
But it is a pretty cool song. Now you can be brave and you can be proud, but we all live under a nuclear cloud, and we could get buried in a nuclear shroud. Don't live your life all helter-skelter. Build yourself a fallout shelter. Big enough for you and your kin. Just don't invite friends and neighbors in. Now you can be sane or you can be crazy. You can work hard or you can be lazy. Without a shelter, you're pushing up daisies.
Wow, that's good.
You know it ain't fair. You know it ain't right. Those damn Ruskies keep us up all night. Got the kids in school doing fallout drills. Got the grown-ups taking benzos pills. Every soul in the whole damn nation knows the definition of annihilation.
Hmm.
Don't live your life all helter-skelter. Build yourself a fallout shelter. Big enough for you and your kin. Just don't invite friends and neighbors in.
Well, that's not very neighborly.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, well, you mean you wouldn't invite me into your fallout shelter? You'd leave me out there to be annihilated and pushing up
It's a
daisies?
song, Bobby. It's just a song.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I feel better about you then.
No, but you know, it's funny you should mention it like that because I had to endure any number of arguments one way or the other. You mean to tell me if your cousin Bobby wanted to get in the house and you don't have enough food, you wouldn't let him in? And then, you know, other people would say, no, you can't let him in. You know, if Bobby wants in, then Dale will want in and she'll want to bring her cousin and
That's right.
the first thing you know, we only got so much. I mean, on and on. That argument just kept going back and forth and back and forth. What side are you on? And it's like, I was just waiting. I said, you think when I grow up, I can get around or over or beyond this shit? You know, it's like, because just, you know, if you think about it, having in the back of your mind that you could go at any time, you know, in a very nasty way too. It's like, no wonder we were all whacked out, you know. It's like, and I definitely think I come from a whacked out generation, you know. But
Yeah,
I ushered in the '60s, so come on then.
Well,
yeah,
you're speaking to, fellow, I
yeah.
guess, whatever you would call us.
Well, it could be I'm an octogenarian, right? You can be a
Well,
sister.
I'm almost there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, anyway,
I think Bobby, you're the youngest one,
it's
right?
not as bad as these
Oh,
people.
probably.
Well, you didn't even have to think twice, did you?
If we're talking years, I'm the youngest.
No, I think you, but you're an old soul, Bobby. I think
Oh man, I feel old.
you've got the weight of centuries on you, man.
Oh, wow.
If they come blasting, I'm not gonna come looking for your bomb shelter. I'm running right into the face of danger. I'm going out in glory. So
Hey, I'm just gonna lay
Might as
down.
well, because you're going out anyway, you know. What were you going to say, Dale?
Oh, I'm just lay down, if that's gonna happen. I just pick a soft spot and
That's
close my
another way to
eyes,
deal with it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's what they had, when I first moved in here, they had that false incoming bomb in Honolulu, so we got on our telephones and the TV, it said incoming, this is not a drill. And and I had just bought this house and I looked around, I thought, I felt like I was going to die in this house, but I didn't know it was going to be so soon.
I hear you.
Um,
I was stationed in Korea. And I would have been there in 1960, I think. And we had plenty of Cold War still going on, And I had I don't know how to say this, whether it's the pleasure or the honor. I'm trying to be as derisive as I possibly can. But they took this brilliant person that you're looking at and made him a security guard. And my job was to guard airport, airplanes, B-52s. The B-52s at that time had specific targets in Russia where they were going to go if war broke out, And they would always tell us. Now, I never figured out whether they told us this just to screw with us or whether it was actually true. But, when you park an aircraft, you don't want it rolling around. So you got to put some stops underneath the wheels so it won't move,
Yeah.
I mean, if the wind comes up or something, it's like you don't want that thing rolling out, And so we had never seen, we would see planes coming on and off the airport there, but we didn't see any B-52s. And what they told us was, if you're out there and you're on guard duty and, you hear the alarm, because we'd hear the alarm all the time. All that meant is we had to spiff up and have people come around and look at us and see if we were capable of saving the universe, which none of us were. Half of us we crawl up in the cockpit of the airport to keep warm, out of the airport. Anyway, the deal was if they pull those blocks, they're not coming back. Or if they come back, it's going to be after whatever they're going to do in Russia, they've done it, And so it's like they were true to that for a long time, well, I mean, I was only you can only be it was what they call it was restricted. You could only stay there a year. It was like if you were married or something, I don't know. Anyway, they couldn't keep you for more than a year. But anyway, I was there for a while and nothing happened. And then one night, the alarm goes off and they run out and they pull those bloody blocks that were blocking the wheels, and they actually taxied out onto the runway. One plane did. Now, nobody took off. But first of all, when I saw the blocks go, I freaked out. And then I saw an airplane, a B-52, pull out into the runway to get ready to take off. And I said, this is it. This time for me to, bend over and because it's over, And nothing happened. Nothing happened. That was the most important non-event in my entire life. It's like, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
So anyway. Well, Bobby, you know what? My opinion of you is such that if we pressed you, okay, look, Bobby, you don't have any more poems, but I bet if you just put your mind to it, you could just make one up. don't know if we're gonna test that today or not. I have that feeling about you, Bobby, I do.
Well, I did that once. Everybody had a funny poem and I didn't have one, so I wrote one while you guys were reading yours. I did that a
I
few
remember
weeks
that.
ago. I don't know. My mind is a lot foggier than it used to be, and I don't know that I could today, but who knows? Who knows what I would come up with?
You might, you might. Who was for, were you first, Dale? So we've all done three.
No, I was first,
You're
and I
first.
Yeah,
think
it's my turn. I
Dale's
think.
turn.
Oh, so you do have a turn, good.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up an old one. This is called Aimless, and this is gonna be like completely different than what we've talked about so far, but anyway, Aimless. Mom cussed and tossed insults. Dad stayed put inside the Wall Street Journal. For decades, fear of going home drove me forward, seeking, succeeding, pressing on. They're both gone now, and I find I don't belong anywhere.
Huh. Can you read that again?
Aimless. Mom cussed and tossed insults. Dad stayed put inside the Wall Street Journal. For decades, fear of going home drove me forward, seeking, succeeding, pressing on. They're both gone now, and I find I don't belong anywhere.
Huh.
It's an old poem.
Yeah,
I found my island home. Yeah.
yeah. Again, I get back to somehow, I get a feeling early in your poems that if I get the setup, then I'll be ready for what's coming up. And you haven't let me down yet.
Mhm.
I mean,
And you can anticipate the ending.
you could have gone several different ways with the end of that, just based on, except that somehow the tone, not so much the words, but the tone was just setting me up, like, or setting the reader up or the listener or whatever. But one line in particular, though, I liked. It was a second of a pair. Could have been the first two lines. Read the first two lines. See what they are.
Mom cussed and tossed insults. Dad stayed put inside the Wall Street Journal.
I like that. I love that line. Stayed put inside the Wall Street Journal. I mean, that's a heck of a line. It really is. And keep in mind, I am a thief. So if you see that someday and it doesn't have your name on it, Carrie,
Okay.
he's at it again.
Yeah.
Okay, we made
Okay, Bobby, you got to come up with something now. Did you write one while I
Well,
was
I already, I thought it was Gary's turn. I am writing a poem in my head, so.
Okay.
It's Gary's
Okay.
turn. My God.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, you got more. Go ahead, Gary.
I don't. I only got three.
Oh.
Because silly me, I thought, well, if there are four people, three poems, I have,
Yeah.
Well, so you have a third one then, right?
I did a third one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did? I thought you only did two.
That shows you how
Here,
meaningful my poems were to you guys.
yeah.
There are many days of infamy. I know I read that.
Yes.
Ordinary people, ordinary clothes, getting murdered. I know I read that. And I remember reading the refrain, got no troubles, got no strife. Getting old is just a day in a life.
No, I don't remember that one.
I don't either.
So there you go.
I would wager that it just wasn't that meaningful, or not that meaningful. I don't mean that. It was not that remarkable.
Well, we've been going in rotation, and it's
Yeah.
been Bobby, Dale, and Gary, and I did my third one. Dell just did her
Yeah.
third one. So
You didn't hear Independence Day Suite?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the third one. Infamy, Independence Day Suite, and Coronavirus Blues.
yeah,
What was the last one?
Coronavirus Blues.
Oh, yeah, we heard that one. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I read all three of them.
all right. We'll trust you. Do you want to hear my fourth? The one
Well,
I
of
just
course we
wrote
do.
in the head.
Sure, of course, of course.
It's a short one.
Okay.
It's a short one. And there is some rhyming in it, but it doesn't rhyme all the time. That's a rhyme right there. I am here, but now I'm gonna go have a beer. But don't worry, I'll keep writing because writing is good for me.
Oh my goodness. And if it were really, we should probably end on that.
No, I've got one. I've got one.
Oh.
If Bobby can do that one, I can do my little short one.
Well,
Okay.
in that case, I'm gonna look in this book and I'm gonna find a short one. Because I only have three. And I actually printed these bad boys out.
I know, and you did very well reading them today. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
That
that's
mean I
good.
should always print them out?
Well, maybe so. Maybe that'll work for you better. Yeah.
Read your poem, darling.
Okay. This is just a little quickie. I mean, it's kind of the start of it, and I don't know where I'm going with it, if any place. Anyway, I call it love. We love to be in love with people, places, memories. We love our dreams, our expectations. We love the spark of love, the hint of love, the very thought of love, the anticipation of love, the discovery of love, even when we don't understand any of
Oh.
True.
it.
That is true.
Okay, Gary, you got it.
Okay. All right. This is all I can do. Well, on short notice. How about this?
Yeah.
Feeling it today. We are all of us good to great. We are pure of heart, noble in our endeavors, generous in our appreciations, soaring in our spirituality, and vulnerable in our need for others to co-create our litanies of triumph over the enemies of hope as we forge forgiveness from the inside out.
Mm.
Good finish.
Yeah, good finish. Strong.
And you know what that sound is? That is my plan.
There you go.
go.
Good for you, Gary.
Boy, you are really gotten it good there today, aren't you? Wow.
Why do I still feel like a schlub?
No, you shouldn't. Yeah. You're reading great and you're even on time. What more could you ask for?
You got a point there. You got a point there. Okay, you know how we've been sort of like, well, Bobby already did it, so we did.
Yeah.
Only part of it. Only part of it.
I am here, but now I'm going to have a beer. But don't worry, I'll keep writing because writing is good for me.
It ain't gonna get any better than that. I'll see you guys next time.
Okay.
Alrighty.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Aloha.
Yep.